Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys here. I'm Christian Ocampo, and today I'm being joined by Brian Doe. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing, man?
Doing great. Thank you for joining us for your very first interview. We're very excited to ask you some of the questions we have for you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Just chilling out on my couch. It's
Yep.
great.
Comfy couch.
Yeah, it's comfy. My feet are up and everything.
Good. All right. So we have some questions we'd like to ask you. First of all, what is it like working in the industry today?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, there's not really much really to say. I mean, I've been doing this now this is my seventh year working professionally. So for me, it's. I mean, it doesn't come without challenges. So there's lots of challenges, but I mean, I'm just super grateful to be doing it, and it's been great, really. Um, yeah.
All right. So, within your 7 year experience in the industry, what is your favorite show or project you have worked on?
Well, I think that most of what people know me for is the character of Timber Spruce on My Little Pony and My Little Pony Equestria Girls. Um, he never became a pony, which is totally cool, but he was more in the human world. And you can watch the film on Netflix. I did a bunch of YouTube shorts, and I think that's what people most know me for. But yeah, I've done a lot of various anime, video games, cartoons, a bit of documentary voiceover, commercial voiceover, all that sort of thing as well. But I would say that My Little Pony is what stands out the most. I'd say.
All right. Uh, First question, show wise, what was it like working on Homeworld Deserts of Karak?
Right. Yeah, that was done by Blackbird, I think. Blackbird Interactive. I recorded that even like 3 years ago, 3 years ago or something, and it was funny because, and I think you'll get a kick out of this, Christian, because I was on my way to the recording session from a World Trigger recording session, and I remember it because I had to record World Trigger in the morning, and I had to get to another studio across town, and I only had about 20 to 30 minutes to get from the recording session of World Trigger to the recording session of Homeworld, and I don't drive, so I was really worried, and I didn't trust transit, so I just took a cab. But it was really nice because my voice was all warmed up, so it went pretty smoothly. It went rather smoothly. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and it was really nice. I remember the director telling me, "You've been hired for the shape of your larynx. You've been hired for the shape of your larynx, and no one cares about your emotional arc. So just do your thing and have a good time." And it was a lot of fun. We just banged it all out in like 2 hours. So
Nice. All right. Next question, and you really touch upon this one. What was it like working on the My Little Pony franchise?
yeah, well that was pretty special. I grew up watching Tara Strong on a lot of cartoons. Right. So I mean, I never got to meet her. She was in she's out of LA and she recorded separate from us. But you walk into that room full of incredibly talented actors, and they're just also accepting and also welcoming. So it wasn't really. I mean, I was really nervous. I remember not sleeping very well the night before, especially because I have. For those of you who've seen the film or the movie, I have a monologue where I'm talking about a scary story over a campfire, and it was about I think 2 pages in the script, and I was freaking out about that because I was really nervous about whether or not I would do a good job. But it felt really good on the day, and everyone was super accepting. It was really nice because a couple of the other actors they volunteered to read Twilight Sparkle's lines with me in my scene, so I had someone to work off of, and that was really really nice of them too. So it was a really good experience, and it was really nice because I mean I came back in a bunch of YouTube shorts. You can find those on YouTube, um, and yeah, it wasn't just a one-off thing, so that was kind of nice.
All right. And now for the next question, and this one was a kicker back in 2015 or 2016. What was it like working on World Trigger?
Yeah, fingers crossed that still comes out properly, by the way. But you never know. It was really cool. It was a really, really cool show to work on. And it was one of my first big things that I did. And I really relate to the character, too, Osamu. He's a lot like me in that sense. And I get made fun of a lot in studio that I'll be like, yeah, you don't need to do any acting, dude. You just got to be you. That's really all it is. And it was a lot of fun to work on. And yeah, we worked on that for a couple of years because there were so many episodes. But
yeah,
that's really all I can say is that I'm on it, basically. And fingers crossed that it comes out. And as always, guys, if you want more of that content, you gotta keep writing to Toei. And I think that's how you pronounce it. Is it Toei? Is that how you pronounce the?
That's what I heard.
That's what I think it is too. Yeah, and I mean I grew up on Dragon Ball Z too, right? So like I've known about them for years, but I mean if you want more content, and you just got to keep bugging the people like that make this stuff to keep pumping it out. So I think if people really want to see it, I'm sure that it'll see the light of day eventually. So fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. And buy the merchandise, people.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yep, companies like
it's very true. Yeah, merchandise.
And fingers crossed that they make a limited edition box set series. A very
that would be awesome. I'd buy it.
I
don't think they'd give us actors that. I don't think they would.
Yeah,
but
you never know.
I'd buy it for sure. So or Netflix. Netflix would be nice, or Hulu or something.
Yep, that's you.
Yeah.
All right, and another show you worked on was like working on Beyblade Blast.
Oh yeah, Beyblade Burst, I think it was called.
Oh yeah, Burst, by mistake.
The Beyblade Blast sounds pretty cool too. I mean, I'd watch that show. Yeah, man. So, Beyblade Burst. I'm trying to remember because that was a while ago. Or no, I think I finished that a couple years ago. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. I grew up on Beyblade. Right, the toys and stuff like that. I mean, I played that stuff when I was 10. Like, so, I mean, when the first, like, I remember when we all auditioned for it, we didn't know what it was. They wouldn't tell us what it was, which is fair. Like, that's fine, right? Like, it's just how the job is. But it was really cool, and I said to myself, I'm like, this would be so nostalgic if I were to actually get a part on this show. And I ended up voicing a couple of characters on it, which was really cool. Gabe Brunei, and I think the other guy's name was Katana, on Team Rideout. So that was a lot of fun, and it was something that I don't usually get to do very often. Like he was a lot tougher. He was a bit more rugged. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to do, and it was really fun to differentiate between the two characters too, because they were just like, yeah, you got to make the two different characters, you got to make them sound different, and so we did a lot of playing around with that too, which was a lot of fun, and it was a pretty good challenge on my end, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I got to watch a bit of it on Netflix, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. It's on Netflix, I think. I hope so. It was, anyways.
Unless they took it off, there's that possibility.
Yeah, they might have, yeah. I mean, I'm still really happy that Canada has the, 5, 6, 7, 8... Yeah, the last 4 Harry Potter movies. I binge-watched that a couple weeks ago, and that was a pretty fun time. But anyway, yeah.
That's fine. All right, another show you worked on. What was like working on Danball Senki?
Yeah, okay. So this one, it's called Danball Senki, or Danboru Senki. I don't speak Japanese, so I apologize. But in English, it aired on Nickelodeon, and it goes by a different name. And I think the name was LBX. It was Little Battler's Experience, was what it was called in the English version, and that aired on Nickelodeon. And I also did a video game for that on the Nintendo DS, which was pretty cool. I haven't played it, but I heard about it, and I heard that it was pretty good. It got good reviews, so yeah. Shout out to all those guys too. I mean, it was kind of like LBX was kind of like Gundam meets Medabots. If you ever watched Medabots back in the day, I grew up on that. I don't know. Maybe that's dating me. I don't know. Yeah. Basically, you had like these robots, and you could control them with remote control, and kids would try to save the world with it. So, is my general understanding, if I recall, it was a while ago. So, sorry if I'm butchering stuff, but yeah, that's it. Really, that was a while ago. That was a lot of fun too. That was when I was around. That was I think that was one of my first things. That was before Trigger. That was it was LBX, and then I got World Trigger shortly afterwards. So that was kind of how I got my feet wet, more or less. So yeah.
Fun trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now it's time for the funny question we like to ask everyone. If you could be any character you have played in real life, who will you be? And you can mix and match.
Mix and match meaning like I can pick more than one, or
You can. You could take some certain attributes, certain abilities, just anything from any of your past characters, whoever they might be, and just mash up together into one entity.
okay. Well, I mean, I want superpowers.
Yeah.
Like that's. I mean, isn't that the dream? Like to have superpowers? Like
Yeah.
I would think so, right? And I think anything that the most that I've done that's like closest to that would be World Trigger, because you just kind of go into a game, and it's kind of like, I don't know. Wouldn't you say that it's kind of like VR?
Yeah.
Would you? Or I might be totally off base, but like, I mean, I read the manga, by the way, and if you haven't read the manga, it's actually a pretty good manga. And I think they just started, shameless plug, even though it doesn't really involve me, but they started the manga up again, and I've been reading that, and that's been pretty cool. So I would probably, yeah, I mean, that would be really cool to be in that world and like try out the different triggers and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. In terms of character, and I also just I like Osamu as a human. I think he's really cool. I think he's really sweet. Yeah, I'd say more sweet than cool. But yeah.
Yep, I expect
That's what
that.
I would say. Yeah. So.
All right. So another question for you: is there anything else coming out that you can't talk about, or anything you'd like to plug in at this time?
Okay. A couple things. So I just did. I'm just gonna switch hands because I'm talking to you on my phone. I just finished. No, I didn't just finish it, but I worked on a Nintendo game called Dragalia Lost, I think is how it's pronounced. And I don't know if that's how it's pronounced or not. But yeah, and I play Alan or Elaine and another character called Ricart on that, and that's a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to do. I think it's doing really well. It just came available in Canada, so now I can play it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so I did that. I just finished that up. I finished a couple things, like I finished a pilot for a cartoon, but I can't talk about that really. And I just got a convention agent too. I didn't know that was really a thing until recently. I didn't really know any convention agents, and my friend Katrina Salisbury, who I think you've interviewed before, she's with him as well. And she's Yana on MLP. She was in Kisniver. And her and I, we have the same convention agent now, and it's Andrew Ho at Gung Ho Booking. So if you guys want me to come to conventions, give them a shout. Let your local conventions know. It'd be fun to go out and meet people and talk about this stuff. And yeah.
All right. So that was some great stuff, especially the Nintendo game. Please go check it out. It was just announced today as we record this interview. So I highly recommend this game.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's fun. It'll. I mean, I haven't played it yet, but like, I mean, I have friends that are on it, and they've played it, and they're pretty happy with it. So I'll get to it one of these days.
You should live stream it.
Maybe I might, or I might. I mean, I want to. I mean, I'm always. I mean, I'm always down for to find or see fan art, right? So if people want to send me that too, like I tweet that as well, and I just like to be engaged as much as I can and involved. So I just think it's giving back and being a part of the community, and I think that's important. So
Yep, definitely.
yeah,
And for those who wonder where you are on social media,
yeah.
any Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of that, so the fans can contact you.
So yeah. So my handles, all of my handles are the same. It's the Brian Doe. So the Brian Doe, the Brian Doe. My website is thebriandoe.com if you want to check out my demos. I have clips of some of the work that I've done as well on it on my website, so you can check that out as well. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Brian Doe, and that's really all I have right now is just Twitter and Instagram. That's more than enough. That's more than I can handle. So yeah, the Brian Doe for the 17th time.
All right. Well, thank you, sir, for joining us for this interview. We do how guys appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks, Christian. Thanks, guys.
Yep. And thank you to our fans for joining us for this episode of the Ohio Guys here. Thank you all, and we all see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.